This video is about why 400k of personal development left the same pattern completely untouched, and the four bodies, and why working on only one of them will always bring you back to the start, and what actually happens inside a mentorship that works at the level where the problem lives. A few years ago, I was in credit card debt, quite high, paying good money to a high-end coach, get myself in more debt. 8 months in, and I was still in the same place. Skint, even more skint than what I was, because my credit card bill had went even up, undercharging, wondering what the hell was wrong with me. And I remember sitting there thinking, I just can't find the coach who can help me with this, with the pattern underneath the pattern, with the thing that no course, no certification, no modality had ever touched. This video is about what that thing actually was and what finally changed it. So let's go. Let me tell you about the version of me that most people haven't seen. A few years ago, I found what I thought was going to be the answer: a high-end coach, a specific modality. This is it, I thought. This is the magic. This is what's going to finally get me there. 8 months, credit card debt, good money, real money, going out every month that I couldn't afford because I was putting on my credit card, and I was still in the same place, skint. Not charging what I was worth. I'd maybe get a wee tiny spike, but it would go right back down again. Not building the way that I knew I could build, and blaming myself for every single bit of it. Why can I not do this? Why can I not get there? What is wrong with me? Now, here's the thing. My business did change during the coaching. Some things did shift, but the internal part of me, the part that actually needed to change, didn't move. Not really, anyway. It wasn't the business that I needed fixing first, it was me. The patterns that I was carrying, the scarcity, the lack. I used to feel like a heavy cloak I was just walking around with this heavy cloak of lack. Why do I always have this feeling? The grief that I hadn't finished with, the debt cycle that I kept creating. Money'd come in, and before I knew it, I was back in debt over and over. And I'd come from a multi-six-figure bridal business, built from nothing, zero, and I had no issue charging thousands of pounds for a dress. I had dressed high-end clients, created extraordinary things, charged what it was worth, and never once apologised for it. And yet, when I came into the personal development and spiritual field, psychological field, I was giving it away. Massively undercharging, constantly overgiving. People in my own close circle taking my kindness for weakness. And I kept going. I kept giving, because somewhere inside me there was a belief older than my business, older than my career, that said, you have to earn it. You have to keep proving it. You have to give more than you take, and you don't deserve to be here. It's what I call the healer's sickness. That's what it's called. That's what I've called it in our industry anyway, and it's absolutely rampant in so many people I see it in. And they'll go after you if you touch that wee sickness. I had it badly. Yeah, the identity I was running from in that period, if I'm being honest about it, was grief, scarcity, and a lack that I could actually feel in the body constantly. It was constantly there. There was a low hum underneath everything, like a cloak. You were wearing a cloak, yeah? I'd been through 3 burnouts. I had been through bankruptcy. I absolutely knew that there had to be a different way of doing this. But knowing something and embodying something are completely different things. And here's what was fascinating to me. Even in the middle of it, I could watch the patterns playing out. I had a master's in psychology, for Christ's sake. I was a master hypnotherapist and I understood the mechanics of what was happening, and still I couldn't stop, because understanding a pattern at the intellectual level and actually changing it at the level where it lives in the body, in the energy, in the nervous system, and in that cellular memory, these are not the same thing. No, not at all. And I'm going to say this number out loud because I think it needs to be said. It was in the region, probably even more now, of 400k pounds, sterling pounds, on my own development, courses, masterminds, coaches, certifications, modalities. God, master this, master that. All of it trying to fix what I now know couldn't be fixed by adding more. Some of it was extraordinary. Some of it I knew within the first lesson. I was further along than the program that I was watching. I thought, oh, I've wasted my money again. And what I kept doing, and this is a pattern I see almost every client I work with, is I kept trying to heal, trying to fix it, trying to resolve the lack of understanding of it by processing it more, by going deeper into it. But that focus on healing, on fixing, kept me away from my mission, not towards it, away from it, because I was treating myself like a problem to be solved rather than a person to be led. So the pattern that kept repeating, and I want to describe this carefully because I know someone watching this is going to recognise exactly what I'm describing. I would invest in something. It would work, partially. Things would shift. I'd get some momentum, and then something would pull me back. Not dramatically, just quietly, back to the same place, the same ceiling, the same cycle of money in, money out. Never quite landing where I knew I could land. And every time it happened, I'd look for the external reason, the wrong strategy, the wrong coach, the wrong timing, the wrong program, because I've had many. And it was never that. It was never that. It was always the same thing, the same identity running the same program beneath every new strategy that I tried to implement on top of it. Because people ask me sometimes, why did you spend so much? Why did you keep going? Because I knew there was something there. I could feel it. This potential, this capacity, this thing I carried was bigger than what I was currently expressing, and I was desperate to find the thing that would unlock it. And the problem wasn't that I was wrong about the potential. The problem was I kept looking for the unlock in the wrong place. We all do it. But here's what I tried, because I want you to understand that this wasn't for lack of effort or intelligence or commitment. Bloody hell, no. I went the psychological route first. I'm a master in advanced hypnosis. I have a master's in psychology. I understand the subconscious. I understand pattern interruption. I even understand the mechanics of belief change. You've got to create a program, the Belief Codex. And even after all that, the pattern was still there. So I went deeper into the spiritual field, breathwork, meditation, pranic healing, Sikhem, shamanic work. I can go on. I trained with extraordinary teachers across the world. I went to temples. I did the ceremonies. I went as advanced and as connected as I've ever gone. And the pattern was still there. So I went the emotional route. I qualified as a master level in Reiki and pranic healing and Sikhem, master in Sikhem energy work. I did the grief work. I did the ancestral healing. I did the past life regression. I went into emotional body as thoroughly as I knew how, and the pattern was still there. Then I tried the physical. I hired a well-known fitness and health coach, spent a bloody fortune. I worked on the body, the nervous system, the physical container. And I came right back to where I started, even after losing 4 stone. And that's when I understood something, that completely changed everything. Not one of these systems could do it on its own. Not because they aren't good. Many of them are extraordinary, absolutely extraordinary. But because we're not one-dimensional beings. We're not just psychological. We're not just spiritual. And we're not just emotional. We are not just physical. We're all four simultaneously, all of the time. And until all four bodies are addressed in a cohesive, connected, intentional way, the pattern has somewhere to hide. Always. It just moves. From the mind to the body, from the body to the energy field, and from the energy field back to the psychology. Doesn't have to be in that way. Yeah? That's what I found. And that's what became the foundation of everything I now teach and everything I do inside my mentorship. And also the Oracle Code. Because someone implements the perfect strategy from a place of fear and it doesn't land. They post consistently from a place of unworthiness and the content falls flat. They have the sales conversations, but somewhere in their energy is screaming, please say yes. And the person says no because they feel that energy, it repels them. Or they built the offer, but the price is from the part of them that is still apologising for taking up space so no one buys it. Same actions, wrong frequency, wrong results. Implementation without identity work is like building a house on sand. You can be the hardest working person in the room and still watch everything slide because the foundation isn't solid. So let me explain the four bodies simply, because I think when people understand this, really understand it, something shifts. So you've got your physical body, the one that you can see, yeah, the one that gets sick, the one that shows up to the camera or doesn't in a lot of people's cases. Most people start here with the symptoms, but the symptoms are always the last thing to arrive. They are never the beginning of the story. Never. Then we have the emotional body. That is where the grief lives, the past, the sadness, patterns of overgiving, the relationship with money that was formed before you were old enough to question it. The wound that says, if I charge what I'm worth, what I'm of value, they'll leave. The heel of sickness. Yeah. This is emotional. And it needs to be met emotionally, not intellectualised, not bypassed, not positive thought away, neither. Because a lot of people try and do that. Write an affirmation. God, I remember I had a coach and that's what they said. Bob Proctor, actually. And the coach from Bob Proctor, Thinking into Rich, says, you just got to write all these affirmations. It was like I was back at school writing lines. Certainly didn't do anything for me, trust me. It was mad. And then we've got the mental body. This is where the stories live. The beliefs inherited from your family, from your culture, from every experience that told you something about what was possible for someone like you. I had a master's in psychology, probably one of the worst years of my life doing it. I could name every belief I was running, and naming them just wasn't enough because the mind cannot think its way out of a pattern that isn't living in the mind. And then we have the energetic body, the spiritual body. This is the one that most conventional approaches miss. They miss it entirely. Your energetic field is broadcasting something. So before you open your mouth, before you write a word, before you even get on a call, if your field is calibrated to scarcity, if your frequency you're operating from is lack, grief, or even unworthiness, or not belonging, then everything you build from that frequency, it'll reflect it back to you. The offer that doesn't convert, the content that falls flat, the sale that almost happens, then it doesn't, the launch that works, and then the one that doesn't. And you can't see why, because the strategy was the same. your energy. The strategy was the same, but the frequency wasn't. And I've got a great example of that. I did a 30k launch of my product and I'd got hacked, had 10k followers, hacked, gone. Just the day before I was starting this launch. 21 people come into the Facebook group, and my coach at the time says, "You're going to do this?" Yeah. In my head, I was saying, "Don't know, I'm going to do that. It's not going to happen." But I had this drive, the energy, the frequency, and every time I went into that doubt, that frequency came up because it was a mission base that I was doing. 30k launch. And yet the next launch I did after that completely flopped. I wasn't in a good place. I went back home from being a digital nomad. A few things were going on. Frequency was not good. Total flop. Then I moved back out again, and then I got a 50k launch. Frequency was up there. It's mad how it works. And this is why I work the way that I work. Not because it's the most comfortable approach, because it's the only one I've found that actually works at the level where the pattern actually lives. All 4 bodies together, always. So, what does this actually look like inside the mentorship? Now, we do have the Oracle Code. If you want to be taught with this mythology, come over to Spiritual Awakening Academy. We'll teach you it alongside the medbed healing. This is powerful energy that we're working with and what we do. But if you want mentorship, before we begin, I want you to see everything. I want to see what's going on because I read energy. I want to see your website. I want to see your offers, your revenue, your community, your email list. What's working? What's draining you? What needs to go? What needs to be built? And I need the full picture. Not to judge any of it. It's not what it's about. Because I cannot help you see what you can't see if I'm only seeing part of it. The first thing we do is structure. Because every person who comes to work with me at this level has something in common with a woman I spoke to who said to me, "I've got too many threads, I've got too many things, I can't formulate them into a structure. I just want someone to tell me, that goes there, and that goes there, and that's how it all works together." No, you don't need that. That's where we start. Not with healing, not with a vision board, but with a full audit of everything you have. And then we work in 2 tracks. Always, simultaneously, never separately. And the strategic track is offers, visibility, content, positioning, revenue, systems, real business, real decisions, real accountability. I've been in business for 30 plus years, multiple 6 figures. I'm not here to be your cheerleader. I'm here to help you build something that works. And then you've got the identity track, because you need this. What's running underneath? That scarcity pattern, the overgiving, the undercharging, the places where the nervous system is still pulling you back from the edge of being seen. The energetic frequency that you're currently operating from and what it needs to shift to before the strategy can land. Now, these 2 tracks are the same track because in real life, in real business, they're never separate. Now, let me show you what that actually looks like, not as a concept, as a life. Now, I'm currently a digital nomad. I have been for coming up for 3 years next month. I travel the world, mostly 5-star. I visit sacred temples across Bali, Cambodia, Nepal, Mexico, Peru, Australia, but 74 countries. I wake up every single morning and I fill myself up first. Non-negotiable. My daily practice, my self-love, my nervous system, me. Before the work, before the clients, before anyone else needs anything from me. I have 0 debt. 0. Yeah, after bankruptcy, after 3 burnouts, after 400k spent trying to find the answer in the wrong places. 0 debt. And I had 6 figures in some places actually. Healthy debt I used to have. Or should I say unhealthy debt. I've got a healthy bank balance. High ticket clients who mostly find me organically from YouTube, from my community, from content built on real conversations with real people. Money flows to me in different directions. I've got an ecosystem that works while I'm going for massages, going to temples, going to my pyramids. Yeah? Nowhere near work like what I used to work when I was a workaholic. That laptop is down, shut way before, you know. I have strong boundaries, real ones. Not the kind you declare and then immediately collapse. The kind that come from a nervous system that finally knows it's safe, from an identity that no longer needs to prove its worth by giving everything away. Because that's what I used to do. I had loads of friends, yeah? And the mission that's emerged from it all, the Oracle Code, a body of work that I genuinely believe is unlike anything else being offered in this field. Could be because we work with hologram healing across all the four bodies. We train practitioners to decode energetic identity at a level that most healing modalities have never done. And I'm building a lineage of Oracle Code practitioners who are taking this work, this specific, extraordinary, hard-won work, forward into the world because it's needed. Nobody else is doing this, not like this, not at this level. Now that life and that mission, that freedom, it wasn't built by adding more information. It was not built by trying harder. It was built by doing exactly what I now do with my clients. All four bodies together. The structure, the identity, the strategy and the nervous system, the business and the person running it. This is what's possible. And I know it's possible because I'm living it every single day. And if you've watched this far already, you know which one of these are you. You're either the person who has the gifts, the threads, the beautiful mess of everything that you've created, because I was there, and you need someone to show you the map, to sit with you and say, that goes there, that goes there, and this is how it all works together as one cohesive, profitable business. That's a one-on-one strategic business mentorship. And it's tailored to you. It's not you go and watch this video. No, it's tailored to you. Or are you the person who already knows the work? You're already in practice. You're already serving people. But there's a gap between the practitioner you are and the practitioner that you know you're capable of being. The confidence isn't fully there yet. The identity hasn't caught up with the gifts. And you need someone to walk beside you while you fully step into it. That's the practitioner apprenticeship. Two different containers, both built on the same foundation, all four bodies, structure and identity together, nothing left behind. Links are down in the description. Read them. And if one of them is speaking to you, apply, don't sit on it. And most people that apply, probably say about 70%, we knock them back because they're not the right fit. I only take people who I know I can help. And if you're not ready for either yet, come and join us in Spiritual Awakening Academy. It's my free community on school. It's where this conversation continues every single day. I'm Anne, and I'll see you there. Speak to you later.